Okay. Oh, hi. Okay, what I'm doing is this. I'm trying to put more light. You know how I can put more light on this? So go outside. Um, Kind of a cloudy day here. Anyway, as you may or may not know, I made a video a few minutes ago, and it didn't really turn out the way I thought it was going to. Okay. Life is being unkind to me right now. And I wish I had you guys to talk to, but I am in New Orleans. I am stuck in New Orleans. I have a motorhome that will not start, no matter how much money I pour into it. I keep thinking that the mechanics know what they're talking about, know what to do. Um, you know, they say, yes, I can get your RV running, and then, they don't. So I put myself in this position. I should have never, ever, ever, ever bought that boat. I should have never come to New Orleans. I should have realized my limitations. Okay. So if I knew how to if I knew how to delete that video that I just made a few minutes ago, I would. But you know what? I went and looked, and it doesn't seem like I can, turn it off. But I apologize for the crack about buying a gun. I don't really mean that, kind of. Um, I have been basically sucking on lemons since November, maybe a couple weeks before that, so mid October. And it's hard. I have never had this kind of experience in my life. Um, sure, there have been times when a couple of things have gone wrong, but this is like a daily event for me. Here's an example. In that horrible video that I made, I talked about the fact that I had a flat tire. The day after Mardi Gras, I'm driving down the road, and okay, long story short, had a flat tire. And so I pulled into a service station and went to their air pump thing and pumped up the tire. And when I put my hand on the top of the tire, I could, feel the air coming out. So I figured it was, somewhere obviously on the flat part of the tire. Yesterday, I took changed the tire, put on my donut, drove to a tire repair place. Okay, went to, I think it's Goodyear. It is Goodyear. They were doing nothing. And he wanted to charge me $45 plus tax to fix my tire and put it back on my car. And I said, okay, no, that's not going to happen. What did happen is that okay, I have no idea where I was going. That thread is gone. See, this is how I am every day. I have to think really hard about staying on track. And I spend a lot of time talking to myself. Now, is this dementia? No. This is depression. Because I don't want to be here. I want to leave really, really bad. And I cannot figure out how to get that done. So, I'm trying to be optimistic, but I've never really been optimistic as a human being. I've really kind of been a pessimist, and I'm okay with that because, I live by the rule that any good news is really good news. But okay, so I take the tire to get it. I'm back. Took the tire to get it changed. Went down the street from the Goodyear place and pulled into this place where I had the oil changed on the Honda a few days ago, and pulled in, and I said, I want this tire repaired. Talking to people here is like talking to kind of a wall. Yeah, a wall. And so I had to explain it 3 times. 3 times. Okay, so long story short, they're going to charge me $15. I said, okay, yeah, I'll rock and roll. And it kind of kills me to even spend $15 because I buy my tires at Discount Tire, and there isn't a Discount Tire within 100 miles of here. So, and they would have fixed it or replaced the tire for free. So, will I be ending up taking it to Discount Tire? Yes. Will I be driving 100 miles to find a Discount Tire? Yeah. So anyway, suddenly, okay, I got to say this. I put air into the tire when it was, leaking air, and it was leaking air substantially. And so when I took it to the place, and again, I felt the tire, and the air was coming out of the flat part of the tire. By the time that the guy told me that the tire was unrepairable because it was, on the sidewall a little bit, I swear to God, he punched a hole in it or made it bigger so that they could sell me a tire. And that is what I'm experiencing. So I still have a donut on the car. And the RV still will not start. And I don't understand why it won't start. I mean, I've replaced everything because every mechanic who has shown up here says, oh, this is bad, so you need to go buy a new one. Oh, this is bad, so you need to go buy a new one. Okay, this is not where I wanted to go, but I can't help myself. I keep going here. Okay. I have this little flashlight that I'm holding so that you can actually see my face. Okay, other than that, I'm fine. Every day is absolutely, once you leave your state of originality or port or whatever it is, these are not United States. These are like going to different countries. And so, and I've experienced that now with Arkansas and also with Louisiana, that I feel as though I am absolutely in a foreign country. And not a first world country, but that's on me. Okay, so let me talk about the boat for a minute. The sailboat that I bought in mid-October, I came down to New Orleans, which is where it is, and the marina that it was parked at, I filled out a lease. They were charging me $300 and like $40 a week to have the boat there. Even though when I bought the boat, the guy said that the marina fees were paid up till the end of the year. Okay. So I figured, well, I'll put in my lease, I'll get approved on my lease, and then, it's $400 and change a year. And I was down with that, with electricity and water and whatever, solid dock and whatever. So anyway, went about cleaning the boat. And believe me when I say ick. I probably washed the inside of that boat, I'm going to guess 7 times. The walls, the ceiling, the floors, everything. And the reason that I had to keep repeating it was because in the bilge, there was diesel fuel. So everything smelled like diesel. Plus, the guy must have been a chain smoker, and nicotine was on everything. So, I threw out the things that couldn't be saved because of the smell of diesel and or the, nicotine coating that was on everything. And then I decided, I'm kind of wasting my time here. Oh, and the engine wouldn't start. Okay. When I bought the boat, the engine turned over. No, it didn't. It absolutely did not turn over. So, of course, I had to spend money to get that engine going, which I did. And the engine did get going. And I hired a guy who knew what the hell he was talking about. And so he came over and charged me like next to nothing, and got that engine running. Now, I had to buy a new battery for it and change the oil and change the air filters and all of those things. But, that was minuscule. And then I decided, I got the engine running, and I started messing with the electrical because all of the instrumentation on the boat was old, decrepit, pick your word. And so I wanted to replace all of that. So I was looking for, model numbers or whatever, who makes it, that sort of thing, so that I could buy the appropriate replacements, which didn't exist, by the way. And so I would have had to buy different ones. But as soon as I started messing with the electricity, boat wouldn't start again. It wouldn't start again. So then I was like, okay, let's see if I can actually pull the sail up. And the answer to that was no. I didn't have the strength to do it. This was supposed to be my 70th birthday gift to myself. It was not a gift. So I ended up getting rid of the boat. And because I wasn't going to continue to pay them, $400 a week for that boat. And they were not accommodating when it came to the lease. What they were doing, this is a city marina, City of New Orleans marina. What they're doing is scam. And what they are doing is not approving the lease or making it so impossible to get approved on the lease that you just end up paying like, $350 a month. I mean, a week. A week. So, basically I used really, really bad words and said I wasn't paying them anymore. And they took me to court, which I was fine with. I went to court. I explained everything to the judge, and the judge looked at the woman who was representing the city and said, "Are you kidding me?" And so he says, no, none of this is fair to you. That was the only good thing that happened to me here. You're not responsible for this bill. You're not responsible for the boat anymore. That was that. Okay, so the boat went. And I decided what I needed to do was to get a powerboat. So I have been, prior to realizing that the RV wasn't going to start, I have been searching for the boat that I want, the boat that I can handle. Yeah. And so I have found that. I have found 3 of them. They're in Florida. So I'm going to go down and look at those and find out what the reality of those are. And I anticipate, depending on what happens with the RV, I may end up just calling some kind of charity something and saying, here, take it away. And buying some kind of trailer, putting all my crap into it, and leaving. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. But I know I can't take this much longer. Even with, prescription medication. So I'm fine. I hope you are all fine. I have no idea still how to deal with YouTube. I still don't. I uploaded from my phone because it was my understanding from watching YouTube videos that was maybe easier than uploading from my computer after I edit and make it perfect and, do all those things, and then to upload it to YouTube from my computer. Yeah, you saw the result of that, actually. It was the video with no audio. Yeah. So that was I didn't put audio on the video that I made because I figured I would do it on YouTube. No, because once it transferred over to YouTube, it went live. And I couldn't edit it. And I'm like, really? Really, YouTube? So I don't know who YouTube is. I don't understand. I mean, there are a lot of stupid people on YouTube. What's a minute? But I must be the stupidest because at least they can get their videos up. I have probably 5 or 6 or 7 videos of content that I wanted to share with you prior to all of this. But between the internet connection here and my life in general, not possible. Really, really not possible. And I'm not a stupid person. Okay, this has gone for, and this is new, by the way, where they tell you when you're doing a live event how long you've been doing it. They never did that before. That's a new thing. That's the only new thing. Oh, that, and they made it harder to, actually utilize their service. I'm not going to say anything about world events. And I'll give you the backstory on Tatsu, the Chihuahua that you may or may not have seen in a video that I may or may not have uploaded yesterday or today. And Tatsu means, does anybody know? It's Japanese. It means Tatsu means dragon. Luna means moon. So her name in English is Moon Dragon. So she's a little terror. And again, I'll give you the backstory on that at some other time. Now, just, on YouTube in general, I'm really sorry that Kevin, Campervan Kevin, is no longer making videos because, that was like the only one I watched. And then I'm really sorry that Open Destination Road or Road Open Destination or Destination Open Road. Yeah, I haven't seen one of their videos in like weeks and weeks. And it's probably because Washington State is underwater by now. It's really been an interesting weather year. And let's see what else. I guess that's it. But again, this is the other thing that I've been trying to do. Okay. So everybody on YouTube seems to have this ability to take donations, and with the frustration that I'm feeling with YouTube, I feel like somebody should give me something. So anyway, I have PayPal. I was trying to utilize PayPal to say, buy me a bottle of my prescription medication. And that went up from, oh, this is interesting. As of the first, my prescriptions, which I have a really good insurance plan, went up from being $1.50 each, and I take a lot, to $5 each. Gotta love this country. Anyway, so yeah, I figured I don't really drink, or I'd say buy me a bottle of wine. And when I say wine, I mean vodka. And, but it would just make me ill and probably not very good for my heart, liver, or kidneys. But the other thing, I can't remember what the other thing was, a glass of milk or something. It was something mundane. But I did that other one too, which is, okay, what is it called? Patreon. I did that. And so as I'm filling out the Patreon information, it asks me, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Really? And so, I think I was just making stuff up. I think tier 1 was, buy me prescription medication. And tier 2 was, the things that you have to give, you have to really think about it. Now, one of the reasons why I'm buying a 40-foot boat, okay, they're actually kind of yachts. The reason for that is because, I figure some of you guys might want to try boating before buying. And so, and I'm not talking about the checkout, when you take the boat out to see if it works and stuff like that, but to actually live the life. And though I will be in the Caribbean most of the time, one of the things that I was going to actually do is offer a trip, whatever, for a week, try this lifestyle. Because a lot of you are RVers. And I came down to the point where I needed to either buy a new RV or I had to do something else. And bricks and sticks wasn't working for me, not even close. So, and of course, I was going to buy a farm in Arkansas, but okay, I don't know how many of those videos you haven't seen, but I made a bunch of them. And they were showing the houses that I was looking at. And it didn't matter what price range I was in. There were 3 things that were bad. First and foremost, all the houses there needed to be re-leveled or the foundations repaired because they were sinking into the ground. Number 2 was new roofs. They thought that I would pay them, whatever the amount is, and then I would put a new roof on. And the third thing is they needed a roof and a foundation repair. So, and it didn't matter what price range you're in. It really doesn't. They are all the same. And they wouldn't pass inspection. And that's why they were on the market. Everybody was looking for somebody who was going to bring them cash, which I was not going to do. Because though I spent approximately 11 months in Arkansas, I learned a great deal. And most of that was don't buy a house here. So, that's when I found the auction and bought the boat. Mistake. And, but I did decide that I wanted to change to waves instead of wheels. RVing is not what it was 10 years ago or 20 years ago. For the last 10 years, it has become kind of like boating. That's the same thing that's going on with boating. And if you ever thought that, hey, it would be a good idea for me to do this as well, I encourage you to do so. And the reason that I do that is because the economy, the situation with our country, you know, a lot of things will help you escape what may or may not be inevitable. And the other reason being, it's the same thing as RVing, you know, DC, AC when you're plugged in, generator, deep cycle batteries or lithium batteries. So, but the boats are cheap. People are bailing on ownership, and that's because of the marinas. You already heard my story. Okay, everybody else, they went from maybe paying $500 a year or even $500 a quarter to $8,000 a year. And the other thing that happened was Bahamas has changed their, you can cruise in our waters, which I really thought were, you know, public byways, but you have to pay us to be able to fish too and have your boat anywhere at anchor, $1,500. And last year it was like $375. So basically the boating community, just like the RVing community, has shot itself in the head. And so boats right now, for whatever size you want, well, the smaller boats, you know, have retained their value, especially smaller boats on trailers. But the bigger boats, yeah. And when I say boats, I mean yachts. They are $100,000 or less. And some of them are extremely well maintained. Some of them have never seen the, you know, feel of a mop. So you actually have to go, touch, feel, blah, blah, blah. And the engine, of course, is the most important thing. And let me suggest this, even though I have been warned to not think this way, but get a double engine boat and get a good engine. Don't get this, you know, never heard of you, or, you know, I would stay away from Mercury's or Johnson Motors, because, you know, nothing is what it used to be. And some of these boats have just outstanding engines, Volvo engines, and, or, like there was one boat that I looked at yesterday, just online. It had the same engine that I have in this RV, two of them. And I was like, pass, because they're Chevy engines. And Chevy did themselves in by building 100,000 mile cars. This RV is at 104,000 miles. Actually, it's a little under. But, you know, it served its purpose for me. So now I just have to figure out what to do next. And, okay, where was I? Oh, buying a boat. But there are many, many, many places where you can go and throw your anchor out or tie onto one of those little ball things out there. And but not in Florida. In Florida, those little ball things are $50 to $100 and something, $200, depending on what city you're, you know, parked outside of. Don't buy a boat without the dinghy and engine. I'll have all kinds of advice for anybody who is thinking, I'd like to do that. I'd like to sell my house or my RV or whatever. And yeah, just go. And so, though I never have any intention of leaving the Caribbean, it it has become, and by leaving, I don't have any intention of going any further south than like Panama. And that's because I don't want to be mistaken for a drug smuggler. And, you know, below Panama is where the United States is bombing those boats. So the only thing to do is stay in the Bermuda Triangle, if you will, or you know, just stay in the Caribbean. There's a lot to see in the Caribbean. There are thousands and thousands of islands. Some are inhabited, some no. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go find one of those thousands and thousands of islands and, you know, create home base and sail around the Caribbean and then always come back to home base. And, okay, maybe not have a home base. I don't care. But this is how I figure I'm going to end my life, is out there sailing until the heart attack or the kidneys or the liver or whatever kill me. I'm good with that, by the way. And staying on shore doesn't, you know, I've seen a lot, been a lot of places, experienced a lot. I have enjoyed it, but its time is over. So anyway, I'm going to take you on the buying experience. I'm going to take you on the things that has happened since November. And I'm going to stop whining because, you know, I don't usually whine, but it seems like I always go to whining. And I'm not a whiner. But any repairs that I've made to the RV, this is really interesting, kind of. Any repairs that I've made to the RV have been started by these people who are mechanics. They're not. I fix them myself. I do it all by myself. You know, whether it's, it doesn't even matter. It's like, you know, these guys tell me, you know, this is what's wrong with it. I go buy the new part. And I'm going to start a list, by the way, of all the places you should never, ever, ever go. And I'll put that somewhere in the description below when I get around to it. And I've had to deal with a brand new AutoZone. And you'd think that'd be a good idea. No. They hired a bunch of people who have no idea what they're doing. They are short-staffed, even though everybody here needs a job. And they're staffed by people who don't know anything. So if you say, I don't know, spark plug to them, they ask us. I'm serious. And your license plate. No. They don't need that. So I'm whining again. Geez, I'm making myself crazy. Okay, I'm going to just stop and probably tear my engine apart again. I think the timing is a little off. So I'm going to see if I can fix that. And I can't believe at 70 years old, when I told myself I'm never going to work on mechanical things again because I'm not strong enough, that I'm working on mechanical things again. But you know what they say, what does not kill you makes you stronger. Yeah, I'm writing a book about that. I'm right. It's the only nonfiction book. Well, kind of. The only nonfiction book that I have done. And the book is called, until I could come up with a better name, The Golden Years. What a fucking lie. It's just a little book, but I haven't put it out for sale yet. And I'm not sure that I'm going to until after I'm dead. And there are a lot of books that I would like to have published after I'm dead. And it's because they're so controversial that the backlash will probably get me killed. Okay, I feel better. Thanks for the chat. I really needed to just chat. And I don't know if comments are on or not, because, okay, I just don't know. And I can only frustrate myself for so many hours dealing with YouTube that, that's why I can't figure out YouTube, because it frustrates me and then I say, forget it. Excuse me. Okay, coffee. And if I were a drinker, yeah, I would have started at 5 o'clock this morning when I woke up. Yeah. If I could drink without all the side effects, and I'm not talking about, the brain stuff, I'm just talking about absorption. My body won't absorb alcohol, so it's coming back up. So if I could drink, I'd be drinking in the morning. Okay, I'm whining again. I hate that. Okay. Thanks. Miss y'all. Miss your comments. I miss the community of us. And I'm tired of seeing people that are far younger than me having a better time than I'm having. And believe me when I say I'm getting the boat. And the boat that I want has 3 staterooms. As I said, 40-foot long. And, double engines. Oh, I was talking about the engines. The reason you want 2 is because you need one is a get you home engine or get you to a repair place engine. So if an engine conks out, you've got the other one. If they both conk out, you're pretty much, at the mercy of the elements. But the other thing that I'm going to do is, and I don't know if you've seen these, but they're really interesting, is they make kites that you tie onto something on your boat. And the kite goes way far up into the air, like a kite does. And it pulls your boat to wherever that is. But you have to be wanting to go wherever the wind is blowing. So I thought I would try one of those. And what's nice about the 40-foot boats that I'm looking at is 1 or 2 of them, I can't remember, actually has a mast on it. And the mast is basically the get home device if both your engines conk out. So, considering that, if they don't have a mast, they have okay, I'll get into that later because I can't think of the name of anything. I got to write stuff down. I really do. Old age sucks. As the title of my book tells you. And it's basically, the book is this. It's my personal perspective on the lies I was told about growing old and the things they never tell you and how you disappear. You can be standing right in front of somebody and say, hi, I need help, or I can't reach that 40-foot thing of water that you have, Walmart, up on the 4th shelf. Um, it's stuff like that. It was it's all the things that made me angry about growing old, basically. So I guess it's a whiner book. And I think it's funny, but I have this really dry, desert-like sense of humor. So anyway, smile, be brave. Until I can figure out how to upload videos with actual, comments and things like that, explanations, I'm just going to do these. And hopefully they upload. Don't know. Okay. Smile, be brave. I'll try not to whine. Then I'll get better lighting. See, these are all the things that I need. I need better lighting. I need to buy all these things, but I'm not going to buy them until I have the boat because I'm tired of hauling stuff around. Okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm not going to whine anymore. Bye. We'll stop immediately. And